watching Kitchen Hustle. This is a show where we teach hustlers how to fuel their passions. I'm your host, Charles Chen. I lost over 100 pounds, and now I'm curious to speak to high-performing achievers on how they fuel themselves starting in the kitchen.
Welcome to Sliced, your favorite food challenge show. I'm Roxy Garrity, and you just saw him in that Kitchen Hustle clip. Taking the Sliced challenge today is Chef Charles Chen. But before we meet Charles, we want to introduce you to our two judges today, Kath and Jan from the podcast In the Service. Thank you, ladies. Love the hair.
Thank you. Natural.
I looks it too. Beautiful, beautiful. We'll talk about why you have the wigs on and about In the Service in a bit. But first, Charles, are you ready to take the leftover makeover challenge?
I don't know. Am I ready? I am so curious to see what is in there. I've been eyeing that thing for a while, so
well, we do have our waiter, Peter, who will now bring you out a surprise leftover dish. So the Leftover Makeover Challenge is a show where you have 20 minutes or left to completely transform this leftover dish. Can you smell it? Do you know what it is?
I smell something, but I don't know. I want to see it first.
Okay, Peter. Drum roll, please.
What?
Leftover Chinese food.
Oh, wow. This is fun. No, this is awesome. So leftover rice. This is perfect. I know exactly what to make.
It's Mugu Gai Pan.
So I basically have all this stuff and I can create whatever I want.
Absolutely. Take a few minutes now, Charles. Right. Get acquainted with our kitchen. Take as many pantry items as you need. Go in our shelves, our drawers. Take whatever.
Sounds good.
I'm going to chat with Katie and Kath, and Jan from the In the Service podcast. You can follow them on Instagram at In the Service. What is your podcast about?
So our podcast is about the food and beverage industry from the front of the house perspective. So I'm a bartender, Jan is a server, and we met working in a restaurant. And over a few beers and maybe an after evening experience, we decided we wanted to take to the air to talk about our experiences and the people that we've encountered working in the service industry.
So craziest person you've encountered?
Oh my goodness, where do we start for that?
Oh man, probably the guy that called me Maestra. I was bartending and he came in late night, ordered a crazy bottle of wine that had to be disgorged, and like 6 courses as we're closing. And then towards the end, after he's given me a lot of banter back and forth, he says Maestra. And I'm like sweeping the bar. I'm like, what are you doing? I'm like, are you talking to me? And he says, yeah, Maestra. It's like, well, actually, my name is Kath. Maybe you could try that. He didn't like that so much.
Very nice. So, Charles, I think you have a bunch of stuff gathered. Don't start yet. I have to put the timer on the clock.
I won't. I'm just looking at the pantry.
Do you have some ideas running through your head? What are you thinking?
I do, but this is kind of fun. This is like, you know, when you're invited over to your friend's house and they're like, I have nothing, I'm hungry. I was like, all right, I'm going to figure it out. So this is so much fun. I'm excited to see what I create. I think I'm just going to go with the flow, and hopefully you guys like what I cook up.
Well, we're very excited. So are you ready?
Let's do this.
Let's put the timer.
20 minits.
Up there, you got 20 minutes or left to transform our Chinese takeout into a new dish. Get set and go.
Woo! All right, I'm going. Got my veggies.
So, do you guys order takeout? I know working in the service industry, you probably eat out a lot.
Yeah, we do. Absolutely. Especially on days off, it's easier to just order takeout than go out and actually interact with people.
Yeah.
So, what do you think Charles can transform this into?
I don't know. Maybe like a stir fry, maybe like a fried rice.
And Charles, what are you thinking?
I don't know. It's a secret. I can't give all my secrets away.
But tell us what you're doing now.
I found some onions, and I just thought, who doesn't like onions? We're not going on a date afterwards, right? All right, onions. I wish I had some garlic, but no. Everyone loves some onions, so I'm going to get some onions. I have some protein, which I'm really excited about. And, you know, leftover rice like this, stale rice, is perfect for fried rice. So I'm going to make some sort of fried rice thing going on.
You were right.
Yeah.
All right. We have people watching in from all over. We got Miami, Colorado,
yeah, where are you guys watching
Kansas,
from?
Cleveland. Wow, so many people all across the U.S.
This is fun. Just don't cut yourself on live TV. No pressure. So this is fun. Roxy, so I don't know if you know that I got started in the kitchen because of my own weight loss. So I weighed 100 pounds heavier before, and I used to eat junk food every day. So
That's
cooking in the
crazy.
kitchen actually like saved my life, basically.
Did you learn new tools to use so you could enjoy healthy food?
Yeah, I think the main thing that I wanted to get away from was just depriving myself. A lot of people go on these crazy diets and cleanses, and I just know that for longevity terms, like I'm gonna lose the weight, but I wanna keep it off. So I started cooking in the kitchen, and it's like, what do you wanna eat? Just swap out some of the ingredients. So yes, like, you know, learning about new ingredients, always keeping it fresh, seasonal, and local. I think that's a great start to go.
And what was the tipping point, Charles, where you're like, I need to lose this weight?
Tipping point would definitely be sitting in front of my couch, and I was just like, you know what? I need to, this is hot. We were doing this slide. All right. I was like, I need to change because all my friends are outside playing,
Yeah.
and here I am just like, you know, struggling, can't even get out of my bed. So yeah, I was just like, you know what? I'm sick and tired of feeling sick and tired, and I need to change my life. I found some eggs. So I have some coconut oil in here right now, and I'm gonna cook up some eggs. When you're making like a fried rice at home, cook your eggs first, because you don't want like all this crap with the
Okay.
rice. You know, you want some consistency, you want some nice eggs and some texture. So I'm cooking the egg first on this non-stick pan. And I'm probably gonna get the onions in here too. Multitasking, this is fun.
And I don't know about you guys, but when I order Chinese takeout or Indian food takeout, I always have a ton of rice left over.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So this is a good use of that rice, Charles.
Yes, so much fun.
I do enjoy the plain rice by itself though. Have you ever tried it just without any topping?
Yeah.
Really?
As
Yeah.
a side, yeah.
It's so simple and perfect. I love
You
it.
know what you can also do with it is the stale rice, because it's so stale and so sticky, turn it into little patties.
Ooh,
Okay.
that's
Add a
cool.
little soy sauce, some sesame seeds. I think that would
That
taste
sounds
really good.
It's a nice snack.
All right, cracking some eggs. I'm gonna scramble this real quick, add a little bit of soy sauce for some nice, yummy seasoning. You can also add a little bit of oil in there as well. What's your
And-
favorite restaurant, girls? I mean, you guys
yeah.
have this awesome podcast. Where do you recommend me going to eat? Like, you know, I just got in town, so give me some recommendations.
Absolutely. I think the restaurant that we were discussing earlier in Brooklyn.
Oh yeah, there's a restaurant in my neighborhood in Brooklyn called Onsen, which is amazing because they have a garden out back and they actually use the products that they create in the garden in the dishes that you're eating in the restaurant.
Talk about fresh, Charles.
Ooh,
Yeah, and
I
it's
like the sound of that. I love when people grow their own foods. And it's so cool to see some New Yorkers like have rooftop gardens now.
Yes.
So cool.
Yeah,
That's like
absolutely.
the new thing, and I think that people are leaning towards that now, which is nice too because it's definitely something that's doable, but it just hasn't been in practice for a while. Yeah, their lavender soft serve. Oh my god.
So Maria says 3 eggs. Is that how many eggs you use, Charles?
I did do 3 eggs. And again, I just kind of go with the flow and like see what I have available. But yes, this will probably be good for about 3 to 4 servings. And non-stick, scrambled it, let it cook for a little bit. It's been a while since I cooked on these hot stoves, you know, but bring me back.
And we're asking some people what kind of Chinese food that they like. Suzanne says crispy duck. What are some of your favorite Chinese dishes?
Yeah, I love Peking duck. It's one of my
Yes.
favorites. It's a whole experience too if you go in there and get that.
Yeah, I feel like that's very traditional, and then they roll it in front of you, which is amazing too. There are a lot of places in New York that will just do it in front of you, so it's something that's a little more unique that might not be as widespread.
Yeah, so the Wix, I have to ask, why are you being an anonymous podcast host, or what's up with that?
Sure. Oh yeah, go ahead.
So part of what we talk about in the service is Yelp reviews and things like that, where people will call you out based on what you look like and what your name is, and if they write a complaint, maybe you'll get in trouble for it. So we
Probably.
keep our aliases and our wigs so that we can still maintain our jobs in the restaurants.
But do you wear the wig? You don't wear the wigs to the restaurant.
No.
And you use your real names?
It depends.
Sometimes.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes it's really interesting just to see, like, even when you're working on the floor and then you clock out, you go across the street to the bar, and you have your hair down, you're in a different outfit, and the guests that you just waited on all night long have no idea who you are.
Oh, it's
like
awesome.
they've never seen you before.
Yeah,
So
it's
it works both
crazy.
ways.
Or like especially the guest who like maybe complained about something taking too long or like wasn't the nicest. You'll walk right by them. You're like, really? Like we spent an evening together and you don't know who I am. So
So
it's funny.
Charles, what are you frying up now?
I am putting in some onions, and I'm also gonna put in some bell peppers. Yeah, I'm cooking up some veggies.
And Tanya says, I struggle with my weight all the time.
Yeah.
So talk to some of our viewers who do have these weight issues that you used to have. You look great now, Charles, by the way.
Thank you.
What did you do to really keep that 100 pounds off?
You know, I think food is one point. You know, food, what we ingest is one thing. A lot of things that people don't talk about a lot is the thoughts that we think, you know, like our lifestyle habits. And going back to like not shaming ourselves about food, that's a big thing in here. It smells so good. You guys smell it? Yes. All right. Getting in some more of that bell peppers. But yeah, lifestyle tips and taking everything baby steps. There's a deep-rooted issue that people don't talk about. Whatever your addictions are, food, alcohol, you know, relationships, all these things stem from a thing that's deep rooted, and people don't go deep. They don't want to go deep. So it's like you go on these cleanses and you have little success, but you realize that, you know, what's at the root core is something that's deeper. So like healing that aspect of yourself. So doing things like meditation or like yoga, things like that give us some sort of like reflection is really important. I think people talk a lot about the physical, like, oh, I lost how many pounds? It's more about the mental. So really having your mindset kind of catch up. And baby steps. So don't beat yourself up about it. You're gonna lose some weight, gain it back maybe a little bit, but like be gentle, be kind with yourself. So I'd say like, you know, be nice. Affirmations.
Great advice, Charles. We're
Yes.
going to take a short break. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Like,
And we are back. Stephanie, one of our viewers, wants to know, how are the eggs doing?
they're doing good. I don't want to overcook it, so I'm gonna flip these. And they don't have to be perfect, guys, because we're gonna basically cut these up later.
Okay.
So I'm flipping it. I'm gonna turn off that. And I'm gonna focus on my veggies now. I have some protein here. So this is leftover Chinese food. Great chicken. So come on, let's use some chicken. Who doesn't like chicken fried rice, right?
Sure.
And I love these little like crackers that you get at the, you know,
That's
Chinese.
for the soup, right?
Yes, for the soup. But I think I'm gonna use it as some topping because I love a nice texture. I don't know if you guys do back there.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna spice it up too. I love spice.
Me too.
And Jilly says, I cut down on portions and the size of the plate.
Ooh, that's a really good call. You know, one thing that I have the munchies, and I'm sure some of you guys do too. Like, I love snacking. Me and my friends, we call ourselves raccoon squads. Like, we come out in the middle of the night and we're like, what can we snack on? But it's all about portion control. So if you're gonna have chips, if you're gonna have whatever, grab a little bowl and then have, you know, a certain amount in there and then just eat that. Don't go overboard. Because when you have the whole bag, you just wanna eat the whole bag. Or if you have the whole bucket of ice cream, you're gonna eat the whole bucket.
I've also found that if you are eating better ingredients, perhaps you get fuller faster or more satiated faster. So if I'm eating a bowl of vegetables with a little bit of spice, a little salt, a little pepper in there too, I feel fuller than if I was to eat a bowl of chips.
Right.
Do you
Absolutely.
think
You're
that's the
making
same?
vegetables fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, you don't have to be boring. You can have like good, healthy food.
What do you guys suggest for tips of eating healthy while eating out?
Ooh, that's a tough
That can be
one.
tough. Yeah, it depends on what kind of cuisine you're eating. Like if you go to some places are heavy on butter, like French food is traditionally like pretty
I
butter
love
heavy.
French.
Yeah, it's so good.
Yeah.
But they can, I would say, first call the restaurant and tell them what kind of dietary restrictions you have. If you want to do no dairy, just let them know ahead of time and they will absolutely accommodate you.
Yeah.
If you're looking for something that's gluten-free, same thing goes. Let them know ahead of time. They'll make it possible for you.
Those are great tips. And also, I find that if you're going to a really good quality restaurant, they can kind of like, you know, customize everything because they're making things fresh. If you go to like a not so fresh, you're like, oh no, it's already like that. We're heating things up, you know? So that's when you know like you're at a really good restaurant. All right. So tell us some more stories of like working in the restaurant.
Like what?
I don't know. I want to hear some scandal. Any scandalous stories?
What's the next podcast about?
So our next episode will be with one of our dear friends that we worked at the restaurant together. He was with the restaurant family for about 7 years, and that restaurant unfortunately just closed. So now he has stayed within the group, but moved on to a different, like a more fine dining spot. So we're going to talk to him about his transition, moving from Ecuador to the United States as a server, what that was like, the kind of challenges that he faces on the floor, and also, you know, the difficulties that he's encountered as someone from a different country on the floor in New York City.
Okay. Sounds great.
Yeah.
And Charles, I know
Yes.
you cook obviously a lot at home. Have you ever worked in the service industry?
I have. I worked at one restaurant here in New York called Charlie Bird. So it's an Italian restaurant. I worked there. I worked at another restaurant in LA. It's called Faith and Flower, downtown LA. Great experience being on the line, being behind the scenes. Lots of respect. I've been mentored by really great chefs, so I just feel really grateful, yeah.
Were you in the kitchen in those jobs?
Yes, I was in the kitchen. I've also worked as a server, so I totally, I get
both
it.
sides of it,
Oh yeah.
Well, that's how I started in the industry, was in the kitchen as a line cook and as a dishwasher. And then I ultimately moved my way up to being a bartender. And I think it's important to have both back of the house and front of the house experience in any kind of field.
Absolutely, I totally agree.
You have about 7 minutes left.
I know, I'm putting the rice in now.
How's it
Look how
going?
sticky and like, ugh. But it's all good. We're gonna add some seasoning to this now. And I'm gonna plate this up for 3.
Justin said, I just had surgery and said to myself, it's time to be more healthy. It's hard because I am already a fat man.
See, you gotta be gentle with your words right there. So like the way that you talk to yourself is really
you
important.
were saying this.
Yeah, I would say no, be nice. This is where you are. I think the main thing is accept where you are right now and say like, what can I do today to make a better choice or decision, right? Adding some hot sauce, a little spice, ladies.
Sounds good.
Love it.
And also rice vinegar. I want a little bit of citrus.
And Margaret says she's just joining. Margaret, we are turning leftover Chinese food into a brand new dish with Chef Charles Chen. And you look like you're making some sort of fried rice.
Yeah, I think so. I'm like, I hope this is edible. I'm kidding.
We'll let you know, don't worry.
Yeah, we'll keep you posted.
It smells great.
Yeah, it smells really nice.
Lots of nice color in here. You have some red, some green, and I'm adding in the eggs now. Turn this on high heat. If it can get nice and crispy, it'll be nice.
And Catherine Jen, you'll be judging on taste, presentation, and creativity. So the colors
Yeah,
are
definitely.
very important.
Absolutely.
That's an asset. You know what's nice about this is like I could actually make this. I don't cook a lot, so
Yeah.
this is like actually doable.
This egg is done.
I think we've had many a fried rice for family meals.
Yeah,
too, and
definitely.
It's always turned out pretty great.
Yeah, that's a staple. Also, like it's filling.
Yeah, well, so for those who don't know, family meal is a meal that's served to people that work in the restaurant. If you're fortunate enough to work in a restaurant that has that kind of policy, they'll serve you a
think
meal
it's
before
so
service
great.
happens. A lot of times it is with leftover food or food that they need to get rid of. It was a special before and they need to move on. And we've had some great meals and also some less than great meals for family
See, I've been
meals.
across the board.
But some fried rice.
Yeah,
We've definitely had fried rice,
lots of
yes.
fried rice. Yeah.
And so I did not know that trick about doing the eggs separately.
I like it because I like texture. If you don't like the texture and you don't want to taste the egg, you don't have to. And also looks a little bit more presentable, so it's not all
Okay.
squished up. So I added in a little bit last. This is looking great. Just want to make sure it's seasoned. A little Thai peanut sauce, why not?
Ricky says, wow, that egg looks great. Chef Charles must make a good omelet.
Oh yeah, sure. I know. I think that's one of the first things you want to learn when you're cooking is you can cook eggs really well, poach them, scramble, nice sunny side up. You're good. I am gonna give it a nice little taste test with 3 minutes.
But omelets are notoriously difficult to make, isn't that right?
They are. Such a simple thing. Oh, I love the spice in here. A little more chili flakes. I'm gonna add a little bit of honey. I just want a little bit of sweetness.
Okay.
I always think if you can hit the spot with like a little bit of sweetness, a little bit of sour, spice.
And you are using a lot of our pantry items.
I am. I'm just kind of seeing what we have available. Add in some black sesame seeds.
Nikki says, just bring it over. I will taste test as well.
Love it. And don't forget, we still have that topping. I think we have some basil. Do we have basil in
Yes,
here?
it's in there somewhere.
Somewhere.
Green.
You can smell it.
Mixed in with the spinach.
I'll just grab some of that. Letting it cook a little bit longer. It's gonna get nice and crispy on the bottom. But
That's the best part.
So describe to me the smell, the aroma in the room right now, ladies.
I smell onions and soy sauce. It smells great.
Yeah, it's very inviting. Nice too. A knife on a cutting board.
Gail is talking about how her husband lost weight and it was avoiding the fried and greasy foods. What foods, Charles, do you suggest people should avoid? Is it sugar? Is it fried food?
I do say don't eat too much processed sugars. That's a good one. Fried foods in moderation. Everything in moderation, really. But yeah, and don't avoid fats. A lot of people are scared of fats. High fats are really healthy for your brain function, cognitive ability. So yeah, don't shy away from fats. Eat healthy fats, eat whole fats.
And in that Kitchen Hustle video clip, you were talking about the good fats like avocado.
Yes, I love avocado. So healthy fats, if you're gonna eat the fat, I love making sauces with avocados as well. So blending the whole fat is really great.
So you have about a minute and a half left. You are plating now.
Yes.
You were right on time.
You know, it's all about that timing.
Isaac says it looks so delicious.
Turning the heat off.
We are going to
Alright.
take one more quick break. When we come back, Kath and Jan will be judging our chef on taste, presentation, and creativity. Stay with us. And we're back, and Kath and Jan are walking up to the
Ooh.
kitchen now. You have under a minute left.
Wow. Presentation is looking
And
good.
so that's
so
the
far.
garnish part. So it looks
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, the color is nice. A good balance.
Garnish a little bit of sesame seeds top.
Awesome.
And I mean, I'm a sucker for a little bit more spice.
Stephanie wants to know why you didn't use the mushrooms and carrots.
They were already cooked and I didn't want to overcook it.
Okay, fair
Yeah.
enough.
All right, there you go.
And you
Ta-da!
got 15
Alright.
seconds spare. So describe to us
Plating.
your new dish, Charles.
This is basically just a simple poor man's fried rice with leftover ingredients. We have a nice spice on top, topped with a little bit of greens, sesame seeds, and also that cracker. You get that soup cracker. Yeah, it's comfort food. There's chicken in there, lots of veggies. There's one for you.
Thank you.
Oh, thanks.
There's one for you.
Thank you.
All
So
right.
before you dig in, presentation is our first category. 1 to 10, looking at the dish. Presentation, what would you score Chef Charles?
Well, I think the presentation looks great. I like the different colors involved, the red and the green and the egg as well. It all works really well together.
Yep.
So I would say on a presentation, we give him a 7.
Great job.
Yay.
And I'm gonna let the girls taste the dish.
Yeah.
But I also want some healthy tips from you, Charles. If
Yes.
you don't have time to cook, I know you often use supplements with your
Yeah, so I
diets
brought some
and-
supplements. A lot of people ask me kind of like, oh, how do you stay healthy while you travel, because one of the things, you can get a lot of nutrition from like the foods that you eat, but
And Catherine and Jan, you can try the food.
yeah, you guys can try the food.
While we're chatting.
We're so
Yeah,
enthralled.
so I have a probiotic which I swear by. Healthy gut is everything. And also another thing is that a lot of people are magnesium deficient. So a lot of our foods is low in the proper minerals that we get. So actually getting minerals is really important. So getting this in water is really easy. A plant-based food supplement that's actually easily digestible is fantastic. And I love, love, love collagen for a great source of protein, good for your hair, skin, and nails.
Nice.
How does it taste in?
We like.
Yeah?
Great. Definitely getting the salty and the sweet in here.
Oh, good.
Yeah, so it's playing nicely.
I like the spice as well. It's really
Yeah.
great.
It's a nice amount of heat, but not too much.
Oh, good.
And yeah, the texture is great with the crunch on top as well.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So for taste, 1 to 10, what do you give this dish?
So for taste, we give it an 8 out of 10.
Yay!
I would prefer a little more salt.
Oh, okay.
You
All
love
right.
salt, yeah.
Love it, love it, love it.
And Cindy wants to know, are those wigs that you're wearing?
No, this
No,
is my
it's
natural
natural, it's
hair.
real. Yeah.
Very colorful.
Born like
Just
this,
kidding,
yeah.
they're actually wigs.
Yeah.
And
Unfortunately.
our last category, creativity. I give you guys a 10 for the wigs. But what do you give Chef Charles on his dish?
I say creativity is awesome.
Yep.
This is something that I would create myself, and I think Jan mentioned earlier that she could even create, so that speaks worlds.
Yeah. Exactly.
So we give him a 10.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did it.
Overall,
now it's your
great
turn to taste.
Score. I can't wait. I'm coming up to taste it right now.
Need another fork.
And In the Service podcast, check it out. Is it on iTunes?
Yes, we are on iTunes. We're also on Instagram at In the Service. You can find us on Twitter, In the Service Pod, and Facebook, In the Service.
So check them out.
Yeah.
Check out Chef Charles Chen.
Yay.
You are the host of Kitchen Hustle.
Yes.
And that is on YouTube.
Yes.
And check us out next week, every Tuesday, 5 p.m. And this is Slice. Thank you guys.
Bye, guys.
Bye.